Hi guys, this is Patricia from You're in a Cat Crochet. So this is a fun little video, and I wanted to do it right away, hence the morning face. I watched Sam and Mike from Memphis Makes uh, do this random Rusty Q&A tag, and I wanted to do it too, and they openly tagged everybody. So sorry, I'm trying to adjust the camera a little bit. Um, and I wanted to do it. My answers may be colored a little bit by theirs. That's why I want to do it before I see anybody else's answers. Because it makes you, when you hear people talk about their answers, then it jogs your memory and you remember things that have happened. So I wanted to do as fresh of a answer as I could to these. I think it's really fun. Thank you, Rusty and Mama G, for doing this fun little Q&A. And thank you to Sam and Mike for tagging us all. And so here it goes. There are, looks like 16 questions. And so the first one, besides yarn, is there anything else you collect? Well, I don't, I mean, we had a house fire the first year that we were married, and up until that point I had a lot of knickknacks and, you know, things you collect from your past, and I soon found out that possessions mean nothing. So, which was a good lesson to learn. I'm sorry I had to learn it the way that I did, but so things don't mean as much to me if you can understand. But I do like coffee mugs. They're fun. It makes me smile. I keep things in my life that make me smile. If you see things on my wall, it's because people have given them to me. I don't, like my stepmom made me that cross there. Over here, that's my stepsister Emily. She passed away at a young age from type 1 diabetes, and so that's like a memorial to her. And my stepsister gave me those wings to come, for Emily. And so I put her picture up there and those wings, and the wings are pretty. My son he painted the picture that's up there. And I have a few more that I want to hang that I found while we were cleaning out our garage. But I don't really collect things. If I have things, it's because people give them to me, or they make me smile, so that I bought them, like the mugs. I also, I like concrete animals. Have you seen the duck on my porch? And there's a frog and a concrete statue of Jesus. And so I collect things, but not, I don't have like a stamp collection or anything. I have my grandpa's baseball collection in the bedroom. I don't like baseball, but I kept the cards. I have a ton of pictures, like Sam mentioned. That's why I said that, with everybody else's answers, color your answers. But yeah, I have a ton of pictures that I need to put in photo albums for my son when he gets married, so he can have them. But so I would say, to make this very long answer short, I would say probably coffee mugs that make me smile, or T-shirts, merch from other people that I like to support. Those things make me smile. So, funny coffee mugs, I guess, would be my answer. Okay, so question number 2. What's your most prized possession? Well, if you can't count your children, which would be my son. I mean, he's not really a possession, right? But I would say his paintings. And I have one that my nephew painted too. I really, really enjoy those. I love paintings, so I don't paint, but I mean, I have painted, but they're elementary paintings. But I really enjoy the art that my son created, and it makes me feel closer to him. So I would say my paintings, my son's paintings. I'm sorry. Number 3, name a book or movie that's important to you. Okay, so the very first book I ever read that I can remember um, is Winnie the Pooh, and by A. Milne, and it's special to me because um, I not only was it my first book I read, but that was the first set of stories that I read to my son. As a matter of fact, I have several books that I read when I was a kid, like Bedtime for Francis, Tea Time for Francis, um, all the Dr. Seuss books, Winnie the Pooh. So I read them to my son, and I've kept them, and I'm going to give them to my grandchildren. Well, now I don't have the originals because, like I said, we had the house fire. So I've recollected them, and I'm keeping them for when my son has children. And he says if they don't have children, he doesn't have a other person yet, but he says if him and his wife don't have any children, that he's going to adopt. So hopefully he finds a woman that wants to do that, because I think that's awesome. But so short answer, Winnie the Pooh. A movie, same thing. Uh, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. I have it somewhere. Uh, it it was a movie me and my son watched together, and so I that reminds me of his time as a young kid, and I just Winnie the Pooh. Number 4. In how many languages can you say thank you? Okay, so here's an example of where Sam and Mike jogged my memory, because Merci, I don't know how to say it correctly, but everybody pretty much knows that one. And there's even candy, that chocolate that's Merci. So, and then I knew Dankeschön, which I think is German, but there's that song Dankeschön. Arigato, because we're studying Japanese, so I knew that one. Gracias, or I don't know how to say it correctly, but like 2/3 of my family are Mexican American. They're just American, but their heritage is, or ethnicity, I don't know. They're half Mexican, half American. So, and I also have some Japanese relatives, half Japanese. So that's pretty cool. So I know gracias, arigato, Dankeschön because of the song, merci, and I also know thank you in sign language, which Sam reminded me of, as I forgot that I knew thank you. I worked with people with special needs, and one of them was deaf, so I had to learn some sign language. I know a little bit. I know how to, say tea, shower, just a little bit of sign language, a towel, things you needed to be able to communicate with her. So that's it. So that would be, let's see, if you don't count American, I mean English, I am your crazy American friend. So merci, Dankeschön, arigato, gracias, and sign language. 5 other languages besides my own. And the one language that I know, well, 2 languages. I know quite a bit of Spanish. I couldn't speak in a conversation, but I know names for things. And then I'm learning things in Japanese, so I can be able to talk to my grandbabies when they get older. He's moving there, so he probably will find a Japanese wife. Okay, so number 5. What is the most interesting place you have visited? Okay, so we have heritage of Cherokee Um, and we visited Cherokee, North Carolina. We visited the Cherokee Reservation. Now, if I have any, I know I do, but it would be like a minute, tiny, I'm not claiming another person's heritage or whatever you call that, where you claim somebody else's race. I'm not doing that. I just, we live in America. Probably most of us have some tiny, minute um, bits of Native American in us. And so we were interested in visiting. We visited Cherokee, North Carolina. We visited the reservation there. And it was awesome. I loved it so much. And, well, I love it's right across the border from Tennessee, and we visited Pigeon Forge, and anyway, we went over the mountain and visited Cherokee, North Carolina, and it's just awesome there. There's this creek that runs through it where they fish out of it and stuff, and it's just beautiful. Everything looks so natural and awesome, and I don't know. I just felt like a part of me was there, and I don't know. It was really great. So I haven't visited a lot of places. I've been as far west as Kansas, as far south as, I think Florida's probably further south than Texas. So as far south as Florida, and and all the way to the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, because you have to travel to get to Florida. um, but like actually been in places, only a few, if you don't count the traveling through the places. So um, yeah, but I would think Cherokee, North Carolina was my favorite, most interesting place I've ever visited. Okay, are you, number 6 is, are you a morning bird or night owl? I'm definitely a night owl. Um, it's quiet. I can watch what I want. I could crochet, or I could record a video, or just it's the most soothing to me. When I was little, my dad worked at a donut shop, and you have to get up really, really, really early to make the donuts for the next day. I mean, like in the wee hours of the morning, and my mom said I would stay awake till he got home. Probably because he was bringing the extra donuts. But and I have a very fondness for donuts now, and it's probably all his fault. But yeah, I've been the most of a night owl, I would say. I'm not really a morning person, but you have to get up and work, so I did. So that was rough for me, but I'm most of a night owl. Okay, so number 7, something about you. Oh, your animal, something about your animal family. Say something. Okay, so I have a dog and a cat. I've had many dogs and many cats in my life. We used to live near a milk farm, and the farmer would give us a cat every time we came. My mom was frustrated with that, probably. but my current animal family is my dog Harley. She was dropped off on our doorstep by a person, I won't mention the name. She wasn't treated very well, I'll just put it that way, before we got her. And so she basically gets what she wants. she she had been through a lot in her life, and I think she was about 9 when we got her. 8. She was 8 when we got her, and she's 13, I think. I'll have to look it up. I have it written down somewhere. But she has had, not only did she have a rough coming up, but she had, probably still does have, mast cell cancer. which we got it removed. They did a lumpectomy on her, and uh, so she basically gets what she wants. That mast cell, the doctor told us, could come back at any time, and I pray over her every day. Well, every time I think about it, actually, and just hope that we have her for as long as what we can. I mean, she's a pit bull mix, and she is elderly, so you just don't know how much time you got with them. And we love her to pieces, and she's queen. She gets what she wants. She's very spoiled. And yeah, she's awesome. And then we have, everybody knows Kage, our cat. He's a Bombay cat. He's black with, depending on where he's sitting, his eyes will be either a copper color or green. It just, they change. It's really weird, but if you take a picture of him, sometimes they'll be copper, sometimes they'll be green. And he's a handful. He's like a toddler, and he gets into everything, and keeps us. He likes to play fetch, which is really strange to me. But I've never had a cat that likes to play fetch before, and he's got a very loud meow. If you go outside, he's worried about you, and he yowls the whole time you're outside till you come back in, and he's just very curious. He gets into everything, and we love him to pieces. And you'll probably see more of him on the channel as the years go by. I hope. Okay, so that's our animal family. Let me see, where are we at in here? Okay, number 8. What show, I think? Yeah, what show or movie do you rewatch? Yeah. Sorry, it's my handwriting and I wrote it messy. Okay, so I swear I'm not copying Sam. My answer is Friends. I know every quote, and it doesn't matter how many times I've watched it. I'm still interested to watch it again. If I ever get the opportunity to own the box set, I will get it. But like if you have cable or something, you could watch it because it comes on all the time. And there's not a quote or a part of any show that I don't already know, and I could play it in my head from beginning to end. But and movie, besides the Winnie the Pooh one, I really like Leap Year. I could watch that over and over and over again. It's about a girl who goes to Ireland in the hopes of proposing to her fiance, because in Ireland on leap year you're supposed to be able to, I mean, we don't know, but in the movie a woman's supposed to be able to propose to her boyfriend or whatever. But anyway, it's hilarious, and I just love the area, the film, where they surrounding location, and just the interaction between the female actor and the male actor in the show. I don't want to give too much away if you've never seen Leap Year. It's been out for a very long time, but I encourage you to watch it if you like romance and comedy, and it's just, I feel like it's really good, well put together. I mean, there's obvious answers to this question, like Star Wars and Star Trek, and I love all those things, and I could rewatch them over and over and over again. But I really do like Leap Year, the movie. Okay, so let's see. Okay. How do you recharge? Okay, so that's question number 9. I put on Time Team on the big screen. If you don't, I'm sure all my UK friends know what I'm talking about, but if you're from America and if you've never seen it, Time Team is where they excavate sites, archaeological sites, and I really love all things archaeological, uh, and I've seen all those over and over again. So that's another one that I rewatched. They actually have restarted doing that. There's a whole new team with some of the old people in it, and I'm watching those too as they put them on because they're mostly on Patreon, but after a while they put them on YouTube, and so I watch the new ones too. But yeah, I put on Time Team, and then I'll play Minecraft simultaneously. I'll play Minecraft on my tablet, and I'll have Time Team on the big screen. Sometimes I put Time Team on the Time Team on the tablet, and I put Minecraft on the big screen. But either or, I build in Minecraft and on a platform that my son has, where we play. We play with his friend Maya from Japan, and but any of us can get in the world at any given time and do our own thing. So I just it's like shutting my daily brain off and just immersing myself in a fantasy world where I'm building stuff and doing tasks and things for our world in the game, and then simultaneously listening to them talk about and sometimes looking at the artifacts they find on Time Team. That's my way of recharging and not, um, shutting off the everyday world. Okay, so let's see. Number 10. Favorite way to travel. I love car trips, road trips. I'm scared of planes. I'm scared of boats. I don't want to drown. I don't want to fall out of the sky. So I know cars aren't as safe as those other forms of travel usually, but I love road trips. I love putting the music on. My son has a playlist. He calls it the mom playlist because there's songs that he likes that I just don't like the lyrics to, or other things. So he has what he calls a safe mom playlist. There's a lot of anime songs in it, and older songs, and he likes a wide variety of music, and so I like it when he puts the music on, and we travel to visit my mom, because when we go on road trips, it's usually to visit a relative, because like I said, I don't usually travel, but if I'm going to travel, I like road trips, and I like stopping and getting the soda, or I don't really drink soda, but a tea or whatever, and a snack, and being on the road and singing the songs. It's kind of like car karaoke, we sing at the top of our lungs. I like road trips if I'm going to travel. Okay, what nickname? Okay, so growing up, everybody who knew me called me Trisha. My name is Patricia, but everybody called me Trisha. My favorite nickname is the one that my great grandpa gave me, which my great grandpa was alive till my son was 4. I have picture proof, photographic evidence that my son sat on his great great grandfather's lap. That's not a lie. I can prove it. My family, they married young, all of them, and so that's how that was possible. But yeah, my great grandpa called me Tish, and it's my favorite nickname. When I hear it, there's only one other person that ever called me that, was a guy that I liked in school. He would call me Tish, and he didn't know that my grandpa called me that. So that endeared me to him. I thought that was special, but nobody calls me that. It's just that was my great grandpa and that one guy. But and oddly enough, his name was Craig, and I married a man named Craig who's sitting over here listening to all my answers. But anyway, yeah, so Tish. And then my dad calls me Trisha Lynn sometimes, because Lynn is my middle name, and he'd call me Trisha Lynn. And my son calls me Ma. Um, it's kind of not a nickname, it's kind of a name, but Ma, it's not mother or mom, so it's kind of a nickname. So Tish and Ma and Trisha Lynn and Trisha, but my name is Patricia and I like to be called Patricia, and don't ever call me Patty because I don't like that. People have tried, it doesn't fly. Okay, so are you an introvert or extrovert? Well, I feel like all of us who have a channel are a tiny bit of an extrovert because you're on here putting yourself out to the everybody who watches. So your life and your crafts and all that are being shown to everybody. So you have to have a little bit of extrovert. But I'm more of an introvert. I'm really shy around people. I mean, I don't seem like it because I put on a front. I just am very polite, and but inside I'm like probably really creeped out till I get to know you. I don't have any actually friends outside of YouTube. I don't really leave the house. I don't have people that I go see and go out to eat with. Like I see a lot of my friends on YouTube go do group get together for lunch and stuff like that. Not one. I did throughout high school and stuff, but circumstances happened and I don't talk to that person anymore. But anyway, I wasn't popular in school, and I had one friend that also wasn't popular in school, but since we've become adults, we've become estranged, and so yeah, so I'd never gotten close to another person. I have YouTube friends, and I consider them my good friends, and that's it. uh, so I would say I was introverted. I hardly ever leave the house unless my son or husband takes me out to do something special, and so I would say introverted to that question. Okay, first official job. Okay, I believe I've told everybody this, but when I was 13, I worked in the blueberry fields, and uh, actually in a barn where they brought the blueberries in, and I would sit on this conveyor belt and pick out the green blueberries and twist off the stems and pick out any rotten ones I saw, because there's always ones with like mold or something on them. And so they would go down the conveyor belt, and by the time they got to the end, because there was 3 or 4 people on each side doing the same thing, and by the time they got to the end, they would go into the blueberry containers that you see in the grocery store. And I did that every summer. That's how I got my school clothes for the next year. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so that's how I got the things that I wanted. And I would buy one cool thing. Like I bought this really cool retro radio, and I bought this bicycle one year. So one year I'd get like a bicycle. The next year I got a radio, besides the clothes that I would put on layaway and get out at the end of the summer for school. So that was my first official job where I got a paycheck. Okay, number 14. If money was no object, how would you spend your day? Okay, this is maybe considered a generic answer to everybody who's a crafter, but I would love to have a she shed, a yarn barn, a yarn caravan, like all my yarny friends. One of them has a yarn caravan. Everybody probably knows who that is. One of them just got their own yarn barn and is making it. I would have one of those, and I would craft and film my videos for YouTube in it. Um, that would be awesome. That would be how I would want to spend my day. So, hope you don't consider that answer too generic, but it sounds lovely to me. Okay, So, number 15. If you became the ruler of your country, what laws would you pass? The very first law I would pass would be to abolish Democrat and Republican titles. So we could get rid of all that barrier, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican nonsense, and sit down and actually solve problems. And the first problem I would solve would be healthcare for everybody who needed it, because I feel like healthcare should be a right, not a something that you can't afford. And I believe if we weren't so busy deciding who was Democrat and who was Republican, and what teams we would be on and everything, we could actually get some problems solved in this country. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about that thought. Some people die and they can't afford to go to the doctor or get the tests that they need. I've had a lot of obstacles, getting what I need for health care. And I feel like that's very sad, as much money as what flows through this country, and people are billionaires, and there are people in need of basic care like food and stuff. And if we would stop blustering and rivaling against each other, maybe everybody could sit down and actually solve some of our problems. So anyway, you're probably sorry that they asked me that question, but that's my thought on the matter. Okay, and number 16, the very last one, something you're proud of. Well, I know it's also a generic answer to say your children, but I am very, very proud of my son. There's nothing that I am more proud of than my son. The fact that he has grown up and he is so responsible and capable. If there's problems to solve, I feel very confident that he could overcome whatever problem he comes against. He's been raised up to think and use his mind to accomplish what he needs to. And in this day and age where kids aren't really being taught, I feel like that I'm proud of that he is a capable adult, and he's fixing to go off and start his life and travel to a different country. And I'm just very proud that he's a functioning adult. This next generation is going to have a lot of issues because of COVID and not getting the correct education that they deserve. And I feel sad for this next generation, but I am very, very grateful that my son is capable. And we'll leave it at that. And that's all the questions. And I really thank Sam and Mike for tagging us all in it. If I were to pick some people to tag, and I'll put their name in the box. So I don't know how many people are actually going to watch this to know if I just say I tag you all. My channel's not the same as Sam and Mike's. They get more views. So I'll tag. I tag Blue Heart Crochet, and let me see, I'll tag one other person. Oh, Crafting Kitty, if she hasn't done it yet. I tag Crafting Kitty. Their links will be in the description box below. Please go check out their channel and subscribe. And thank you all, and I hope you are having a good morning, and that you're spreading joy in your little corner of the world and being a little joy bombs. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.